This is the NBC University Theater, bringing you a full-hour dramatization of the Thomas Hardy novel, The Mayor of Casterbridge, starring Reginald Gardner as Michael Henchard. Today, one of England's giants of literature, Thomas Hardy's The Mayor of Casterbridge. Its setting is that part of England known as Wessex. Its concern is with grain and weather, with strong men in conflict, and with women fully dependent. Thomas Hardy was a vigorous dramatist, yet he rarely chose up sides. Rather, he was a determinant, a man of suspended judgment who recorded the workings of fate and law with a deep compassion. He was also a poet of the English countryside, a celebrator of the heath, the woods and the fields, and the village with its peasants. No condensation can preserve all the elements of a complex novel, but we feel that the essence of Thomas Hardy is well represented in today's radio adaptation by Max Ehrlich. Here, then, The Mayor of Casterbridge, starring Reginald Gardner as Michael Henchard.
This is the story of a man of character, strong and yet weak, turbulent yet calm, hard and yet sentimental. He lived by his deeds and died by them, and was judged for them. And his name was Michael Henchard. One evening of late summer, some 100 years ago, a man walked along a dusty road in Upper Wessex. He was shabbily clad and powdered with the thick dust of a long and weary journey. He carried the tools of his trade with him, and his measured walk was the stride of a skilled countryman. And then, at a turn in the hedge-bordered road, he spied a man owing turnips, and hailed him.
Ho there! Thou!
Aye? What is it?
Any trade doing in that town up ahead?
What kind of trade?
Well, you see me hay knife and basket, don't you? Is there anything in the hay trussing line?
Well, there's always a trade for a strong and sober man.
Well, as to that, Michael Henchard will match muscle and stack hay with the best of them. And I've sworn by the Holy Book never again to touch a drop for 20 years. If it's strong and sober they want, that's me. What might be the name of the town ahead, then?
Why, everyone hereabouts knows it.
I'm not from hereabouts, and where I come from or what I was is the business of none but myself. Tell me the name of the place and I'll go about my business. What town is it?
Why, yonder town is Casterbridge.
"18 years passed. Michael Henchard rose to be the richest and most powerful man in Casterbridge, the foremost dealer in corn and wheat, and finally the mayor of his adopted town. And now, as he sat at the council table, he was under attack.
Mr. Henchard, you're mayor of Casterbridge, aye. But you're also the corn factor. It's your responsibility.
Yes, well, Grubbins, come to it. Come to the point.
You've always done big dealings in wheat, barley, oats, and the like, and always well done. But this year you've supplied bad wheat in your contracts.
Aye, why, the wheat is so grown out it's almost like mold.
Aye, and the bread it makes has a list at the bottom of the loaf as thick as the sole of my boot.
Well, now, sirs, I'm an honest man, and I admit the wheat turned out badly. But you'll have to believe me when I say I was taken in as much as the millers I sold it to.
Aye, and so were the poor folk of Casterbridge, Mr. Henchard. The good wives and their poor children.
Aye. That's what they...
Gentlemen, you must make allowances for the size of my business.
What allowances?
Aye, Mr. Mayor, what allowances?
It's so big I can't look after it myself. That's why the bad wheat slipped my eye, gentlemen. That's why I've advertised for a thorough good man to manage my grain department.
Well enough, Mr. Henchard, well enough. But are you going to pay us for the bad wheat you sold us? Will you take it back again?
Gentlemen, if any of you men of wisdom will tell me how to turn grown wheat into wholesome grain, I'll take it back with pleasure.
Well, now, Mr. Henchard, there's a Scotchman newly arrived in town. Farfray's his name, Donald Farfray.
Aye, and he says he has a process to renovate the grain.
Oh, he does, eh? Well, there's a long draft between saying and doing, but any chance is better than none. Where is this Scott Farfray? Where can I find him?
You'll find him at the Three Mariners Hotel, Mr. Henchard.
Aye, and if he's a sound man, possibly he'll be staying in Casterbridge.
No, Mr. Henchard, I'd not thought of stopping long in Casterbridge. I'm on my way to Bristol and from there to the New World to try my fortune in the great wheat-growing districts of the West.
To America, eh? Well, well.
But hearing of the trouble you're in, I can't resist offering my services.
Aye, I'm in trouble indeed, sir, dire trouble. And if your renovating process is what you say it is, I shall be glad to pay you handsomely.
Oh, no, sir, I'll take no pay. After all, this new process of mine will be no good to me in a foreign country where the wheat climate is more constant than here.
Still, you'll be doing me a great service.
I'm delighted to be of help. And now, Mr. Henchard, let me show you how this process works. You see here. Now, I take a few grains. Well, Mr. Henchard, there's your wheat, as good as new.
Aye, you've done it, lads, you've done it.
The process is yours, sir, free and clear.
Aye, lad, hearken to me. You've saved me from a world of trouble and anguish this day. Forget your boys to the New World and come work for me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Henchard.
Look, if you'll accept the place, you shall manage the corn branch entirely with salary and commission besides.
You're a liberal man, sir. Very liberal, but... No, I've got my mind set on America.
Mr. Farfray, reflect and consider. I'm a lonely man without wife or child, and have been for years. And you've struck me fancy. You're the kind of lad I could look upon as my son. For when I like a man, I like him hard, and that's the way of Michael Henchard.
Well, believe me, sir, I'm honored.
I hate to be persistent, Donald, but you were sent to me by Providence and meant to stay. I'm not a man to let a cause be lost for want of word. Come, stay with me, and name your own terms. For hang it, Donald, I like thee well.
Mr. Henchard, well, there's much in what you say. Perhaps it is Providence, as you say. But I, too, like thee well.
Then you'll stay, lad. You'll stay?
Yes, I give it much thought. Should anyone go against Providence? Now, will you not have a drink with me, Mr. Henchard, to seal our new association?
No, lad. I'd like to, but I cannot. I've sworn an oath to forsake drink. A long time ago, it almost ruined me.
Then here's my hand on it, sir.
Done.
Done, sir.
Thus, Michael Henchard took into his life a young man whom he loved as a son. Dreaming of the future, he little knew that the ghost of his past was already rising up to plague him. At that moment, in the distant Wessex town of Weydon Priors, a fair was in full swing. Among the stalls for tailors, osiers, linen drapers, and coopers, through the roundabouts and high flyers, walked two women. One of them was a girl of 18 called Elizabeth Jane, and t'other was her mother, dressed in the mourning clothes of a widow. And her original name was Susan Henchard.
So this is where you first met Father?
Yes, Elizabeth Jane, 'twas here. And on a day like this that Richard Newson and I met.
Poor Father. To think that he's gone from us now, drowned at sea. But, Mother, why have we come here at all?
'Twas here that I last saw the relation I'm looking for.
Mr. Henchard?
Yes.
I suppose he never knew me.
No, Elizabeth Jane, he never really knew you. Now, I must go over to that tent.
The one where that wrinkled old woman is stirring the pot?
She I wish to speak to. Elizabeth Jane, you stay here.
Oh, but why?
I want to speak to her alone.
Good furmity sold here. Good, nourishing, hot furmity. And only halfpenny a cup.
Good evening.
Eh? You speak to me?
Yes. We've met before. 18 long years ago.
I don't recall it.
Can you not call to mind the sale of a wife by her husband in your tent 18 years ago today?
I've seen so many things. But ye say a man sold his wife?
Yes, a hayrigger named Henchard. I was his wife, and there was a child with me. He was in his cups, and he sold us to a sailor named Newson for 5 guineas. You recall the man now?
Aye, now I do. He came back to the fair the following year.
He did? Why? Tell me why.
Looking for his lost wife. And he told me quite private-like that if a woman ever asked for him, I was to say he'd gone to...
Yes? Tell me where.
Oh, I'm an old one, I am, ma'am. And my memory's creaky. If I had a wee bit of encouragement, maybe...
Here's a shilling.
Now I mind. Aye, 'twas Casterbridge. That's it. He's mayor of a town called Casterbridge.
And so it was that the mayor of Casterbridge received a letter from the wife he had sold some 18 years before. And shortly after, he met her by night at a place called Budmouth Road.
Michael.
There now, Susan, my dear. There's no need for tears. We're together again.
I was afraid you wouldn't see me.
I not see you? Oh, Susan, my dear, since the day I shamefully sold you, I've wanted you back. It was the rum that made me do that terrible deed, that old hag's furmity. And since then, I haven't touched a drop. You hear me, Susan? For 18 years, I've kept my oath.
Michael, what can I say?
I searched high and low for you and for my daughter, for Elizabeth Jane. I traveled, advertised, did all I could. Finally, I decided that you and the child must be dead. Susan, why did you keep silent so long? Why?
Because of Newson? I thought I owed him faithfulness. And now I meet you as his widow. I consider myself that, and I have no claim on you.
No, Susan, you meet me as my wife.
Michael.
As my lawfully wedded wife. I brought with me here the wedding ring you threw into my face when I took the 5 guineas from Newson. Will you wear it, Susan? Will you wear it again?
Oh, Michael. Michael.
Now then, what does our daughter know about us?
Nothing, Michael. I didn't dare tell Elizabeth Jane. She despises us both.
Aye. Well, we must keep our secret dark and yet get matters straight in spite of it. Two cannot return to my house as the wife and daughter I once treated so ill. It wouldn't look well for the mayor and her church warden.
Perhaps it would be better if Elizabeth Jane and I went away.
No, Susan. I want you here, and here you'll stay. Wait a moment. I have it.
Yes?
You and Elizabeth Jane can take a cottage in town as widow and daughter. In due time, I'll meet you, court you, and marry you.
And no one will be the wiser?
No one. Susan.
Yes, Michael?
There's one thing you haven't told me plain and out. Do you forgive me? Do you, Susan?
Michael,
I don't blame you. It was a cruel and miserable thing I did. And if someday you can find room in your heart to truly forgive me, Susan, you'll make Michael Henchard a happy man again.
Michael Henchard was a man of strong conscience. Ends to his wife and daughter would go far toward wiping out the shadow which had haunted him for many years. But Susan's arrival had aggravated another problem. So now, in a rush of confidence, he told the whole story to Donald Farfrae.
Now, Donald, see what injury a man may cause around him. By doing right with Susan, I wrong another innocent woman, Lucetta Templeton.
You propose marriage to Miss Templeton, Michael?
Aye. Before I knew Susan was still alive, and she accepted. She was planning to travel here from her home on the island of Jersey.
That's a problem, to be sure. Since you can't marry both of them, you must bitterly disappoint one.
Aye, that's the curse of it, Donald. And my first duty is to Susan. There's no doubt about that.
I agree.
Donald, hearken to me. You've seen how I've spoke my heart to you on a personal family matter. You can see my trust and faith in you as if you were my own son.
Yes, and I'm honored, Michael.
Well, what shall I do, lad? Advise me now. How shall I resolve what I've done?
Why, I think it's plain, Mr. Henchard.
Then tell me, Donald. Tell me the path.
You'll have to write to Miss Lucetta Templeton. Tell her about Susan and beg her forgiveness and your release.
Aye. 'Tis the honest thing to do, though cruel. But, Donald, as to the letter...
Yes?
I'm a poor hand at letter writing. Will you draw up an explanation and break it to her as gently as you can?
I'll be glad to, Michael, if you wish me to.
Thank you, boy. Thank you, lad. You're a blessing and a comfort to me. It was a lucky day for Michael Henchard when you stopped by in Casterbridge.
Lucetta Templeton released Henchard, and he married Susan. Meanwhile, Michael and his young assistant Donald Farfrae were inseparable, and the great corn and grain business flourished under the young Scot's able direction. But then a seed began to take root and sprout, and finally to cleave the foundation of their close friendship. At first it was merely the kind of talk that was heard at the Three Mariners Inn.
No, you take this young man, Farfrae. A fine, upstanding lad he is. A catch for any woman, mark you. If I were 10 years younger...
I'm Mrs. Cookson. Begad, a popular one he is around Casterbridge. A credit to the mayor's business he is.
True, Griggs, true. Where would the mayor be without the Scot?
Nowhere, Christopher, nowhere, says I.
Strike me if it's blasphemy. But I say that of the two, Farfrae's the better man.
The lad'll cut Henchard out one day, mark me.
Shh! You fools, not so loud.
Eh?
What is it, Mrs. Cookson?
Lower your voices. Can't you see? That's Albert Jopp, Henchard's foreman, sitting in the corner.
Oh.
Like as not he's heard you. And he's a fine one for carrying a tale.
Gossip, Jopp. Malicious gossip. Fools in their cups chattering.
All right, Mr. Henchard. Have it your own way. I'm only telling you what I heard at the inn. And not only at the inn, but at the town hall itself.
What? What do you mean, Jopp?
I mean, there are those who say you've been mayor and corn factor long enough. They're talking of Mr. Farfrae.
That's a lie.
Is it, Mr.
Blast
Henchard?
you for a meddler, Jopp. Why, Donald Farfrae's like my own son. He wouldn't... Come in.
Be you Mr. Farfrae, sir?
No, what is it, boy?
Please, sir. Me aunt sent me. We have a farm in Durnover, and they be wanting Mr. Farfrae to come out and buy our haystack.
Mr. Farfrae's away, boy. I'll come and look at it myself.
But me aunts be wanting Mr. Farfrae to come to the farm.
Why, Mr. Farfrae? Mr. Farfrae, Mr. Farfrae. Why do people always ask for him?
I suppose it's because they be liking him so. That's what they be saying.
Oh, they do they?
Well, what did I tell you, Mr.
Silence, Jopp. I've had enough of your tongue. Look here, boy.
Yes, sir?
I suppose they want Mr. Farfrae to come because he's cleverer than Mr. Henchard. Is that what they say, lad?
Aye. That be it, sir. Leastways, some of it.
Oh, so there's more, is there? Well, what else? Come, boy, what else do they say? Come, here's a sixpence, if you remember.
Well, sir, they do say Mr. Farfrae be better tempered. The better man by a long chalk. And they be saying they wish he was the master and mayor, too, instead of Mr. Henchard.
Oh, they do they? They wish he was master, eh? Well, we shall see about that. Yes, we shall see about that very soon.
The malicious seed sprouted and grew and became a thing of nettles, and at last came into the open. It happened on a day when Henchard went into an employee's house to discipline a wagon driver who'd overslept.
Here, you Abel Whittle, get out of bed, you lazy lout. Begad, I've stood you being tardy for the last time.
Oh, Mr. Henchard, I don't know how it happened. Last night I just closed my eyes and...
4 o'clock and the crew's waiting to go to the fields and you're abed. Rot me, I'll mortify your flesh, see if I don't. Now get out and start moving down Back Street.
But I've got to put my breeches on first.
Breeches? No, you'll go out without 'em, Whipple. You'll drive all the way to Blackmore Vale without 'em. I'll teach you a lesson.
But I'd be disgraced. They'd be laughing.
Out of the door and down the street. Come on, out of the door when everyone can see you.
Oh, Abel Whittle. I was just coming to your eyes here, and I... Why, what's this?
Mr. Farfrae, sir, if you'd only try to make Mr. Henchard relent, I cannot face the shame of walking about unclothed.
I said I'll mortify you, Whittle, and I will. Get out into the street.
Oh, just a minute now. Abel.
Aye, Mr. Farfrae.
You get back into the house and put on your clothes and come to work like a man.
Yes, sir. God bless you, Mr. Farfrae.
Look here, Farfrae. What are you up to?
I'm up to nothing, Michael, but if this is a joke, it's being carried far enough.
It's no joke. I was disciplining Whittle, and I brooked no interference.
Oh, come, Michael. Such conduct's too small for a man of your position. I mean, no criticism, sir, but it's not worthy of you.
What? You dare to speak to me like this?
No, I speak only to your reason, sir. Abel Whittle's a man, and he needs his dignity.
Now, look here, Farfrae. I've had enough. Either Whittle does as I say, or I'll get myself a new manager.
I have taken a position, Michael, and I cannot honorably retreat.
Indeed. In that case, Mr. Farfrae, I have no further need of your services, and you are no longer my manager. Elizabeth! Where is that girl? Elizabeth!
Yes, Father.
I've heard about town that you've been seeing something of Donald Farfrae. Is that true?
Father,
Answer me, child. Is it true?
Yes, it's true.
Well, from now on, that's over. You're not to see Donald Farfrae again. I forbid it.
Michael, what is it? What do you forbid?
It's your daughter, Susan. She's taken up with that young whelp of a Scot, and I won't have it. Do you know what he's done, Susan?
What, Michael?
Why, he's opened up a corn and hay business and set up a trade of his own on Durnover Hill. The gall of that young devil. Why, I befriended him. I helped him make a living, called him friend, called him my son. I'd have given him my last crust of bread, and now he's trying to cut my throat in competition.
Father, Donald means nothing personal. It's the business he knows best.
Ah, do you take me for a fool, Elizabeth? I know what he's up to. He's out to harm me in any way he can. But I'll have a tussle with him, I will. I'll show him what it means to stack up to Michael Henchard.
The rivalry of the two men flared, and they closed in mortal commercial combat. 'Twas northern insight against southern doggedness, dirk against cudgel, rapier against heavy saber. Henchard fought savagely with every trick he knew, trying to beat Farfrae into bankruptcy. But the young Scot took every blow and kept on coming. Then tragedy struck in Michael Henchard's home. His wife, Susan, died of a stroke. And then, and only then, did Michael Henchard reveal to Elizabeth Jane the story of his past. And that he was her real father.
Now, child, don't cry. I can't bear it. I won't bear it. Why should you cry?
I can't help it.
I'm your father, and I'm here, alive. Is this a cause for sorrow, child? Am I so dreadful, so hateful to you?
No.
Oh, listen, don't hate me for what I've done, Elizabeth Jane. I'll be kinder to you than Richard Newsom ever was. Don't you see, daughter? You're all I have in the world, all I love.
May I say good night now, Father?
Of course you may. Go to bed, child. It's been a difficult day.
Good night, Father.
Good night, Elizabeth Jane.
Ironically, a few days after the funeral, Michael Henchard found a letter written by his dead wife to himself. He took it to his room, and there he opened it.
Let me see. My dear Michael, when you read this, I shall already be in my grave. This is a confession of a secret I have kept from you till now. Forgive me, Michael.
I thought it was for the best, but now I must tell you. You see, Michael, Elizabeth Jane is not your child, the child who was in my arms when you sold me. No, she died 3 months after that, and Elizabeth is really Richard Newson's daughter. I christened her by the same name as the other, and she filled the ache of my loss. Michael, Michael, I might have held my tongue, but I couldn't. Please try to forgive, if you can, a woman you once deeply wronged, as she forgives you. Susan Henchard.
From Hollywood, the NBC University Theater is bringing you Reginald Gardner in a radio version of Thomas Hardy's The Mayor of Casterbridge. This play is part of a series devoted to the classic novels of Anglo-American literature. If you are interested in supplementing your enjoyment of these productions with home study under college supervision, be sure to listen to the announcement at the close of this program. And now, our intermission commentator, the distinguished author of The Great Tradition and John Reed, The Making of a Revolutionary, Mr. Granville Hicks. Speaking from New York, here is Mr. Hicks.
The Mayor of Casterbridge was published in 1886 when Thomas Hardy was 46 years old. It was preceded by The Return of the Native and followed by Tess of the D'Urbervilles and Jude the Obscure, these 4 being his greatest novels. After the appearance of Jude the Obscure in 1895, Hardy refused to write another novel, chiefly because his work had been criticized as immoral. He lived on, however, for more than 30 years and added greatly to his reputation as a poet, which eventually surpassed his reputation as a novelist. As you have noticed, The Mayor of Casterbridge is concerned with a group of men and women who can be called the victims of circumstance. In 1885, while he was working on the novel, Hardy thus defined tragedy in his notebook. A tragedy, he wrote, exhibits a state of things in the life of an individual which unavoidably causes some natural aim or desire of his to end in catastrophe when carried out. This is, of course, what happens to Michael Henchard. Not only are his sufferings out of all proportion to his mistakes, they rise often enough out of his good impulses. Because of his emphasis on undeserved suffering, Hardy was generally regarded and often ferociously attacked as a pessimist. In a way, he deserved the epithet. The Mayor of Casterbridge, for example, hastily passes over the rise of Michael Henchard in order to concentrate on his fall. If Hardy had chosen to reverse the emphasis, the same materials could have given a quite different impression. He was not, however, a pessimist in any absolute philosophical sense. He called himself not a pessimist, nor an optimist, but a meliorist. That is, one who believed that things could be made better, and, as far as possible, should be. In one of his poems, he wrote, "If way to the better there be, it exacts a full look at the worst." Many critics have insisted that Hardy looked at the worst rather more fully than he needed to, but the fact remains that he was genuinely concerned to find a way to the better. When you are reading one of Thomas Hardy's tragic novels, you may feel that this is not the way life really is, but you do have to confess that this is the way life sometimes seems to be. Man is not always master of his destiny, whatever we like to think, and no one has shown more poignantly than Thomas Hardy the tragic moods of human defeat.
Thank you, Mr. Hicks. Our radio version of The Mayor of Casterbridge, starring Reginald Gardner as Michael Henchard, will continue from Hollywood after a brief pause for station identification. Michael Henchard wrote Lucetta Templeton, the woman he had loved before Susan had reappeared. He asked Lucetta to come to Casterbridge, and she accepted, taking up residence in High Place Hall. Henchard's plan was to marry Lucetta as soon as Susan was decently cold in her grave. As for his attitude to Elizabeth Jane, he turned from a tender father to a hostile stranger almost overnight.
Father, if you'll bide where you be a minute, I'll get you your breakfast.
Bide where you be? Good heavens, girl, what manner of speech is this? Are you fit to carry wash to a pig trough that you use such words as those?
I'm sorry, Father. I mean, stay where you are.
Elizabeth Jane, come here.
Yes, Father?
Did I see you help Nancy Mockridge carry a load of firewood into her house?
Why, yes. She's such an old woman, and the wood was so heavy.
You're the mayor's daughter, understand, and I'll not have you lowering my position by lending a hand to every clodhopper you meet, where the whole village can see you. Well, Elizabeth, where have you been dawdling this time? Where's my supper?
I'm sorry. I was just at the churchyard visiting my mother's grave.
Will you
Father.
stop calling me father?
But aren't you?
Aye, but there's no cause to harp on the word father. Father. Begad, it's beginning to hurt my ears, and I'll thank you not to use it so free.
Michael?
Aye, Lucetta?
I met your daughter, Elizabeth Jane, in the churchyard today.
She's no daughter of mine, Lucetta. I've told you the story.
Yes, but you've treated her harshly, Michael. It was no fault of hers.
Aye, I know. I've tried to be kind to her, but the fury won't let me. I'd like to get rid of her, Lucetta, if you must know the truth.
In that case, let her come in service to me at High Place Hall.
To you?
Why not? The girl has no one to love her. Being a woman, I know what misery that can be. I think she's lovely and charming, and I'd like to have her in my house.
Now, look here, Lucetta. What's the real reason you want to take Elizabeth Jane in service?
You men are so simple. Can't you see? Your wife has only recently died, has she not?
Aye, but...
And as Mayor of Casterbridge, it wouldn't look right and proper to visit a lady so soon after your good wife's death, would it?
No, to be sure it wouldn't.
Well, then, what could be more proper than to visit your daughter? And if she lives at my house, what then? Who can object if a father comes to see his daughter as a father should? Now, do you see, Michael?
By gad, Lucetta, I take off my hat to you. Aye, you're a clever minx. I see it plainly now.
Now, it so happened that Henchard, after finding that Elizabeth Jane was really the daughter of Richard Newson, had written Donald Farfrae, giving him permission to resume his courtship if he wished. Vaguely, Henchard hoped that if Donald married Elizabeth Jane, that would be one way to get rid of her. And so it was that Donald Farfrae was calling at High Place Hall. Elizabeth Jane was out, but Lucetta Templeton received him with particular grace.
You know, Mr. Farfrae, I find you a very interesting young man.
And I find you, Miss Templeton, a charming and beautiful lady.
You speak of amenities, of course, but nevertheless it's pleasing to hear them.
Oh, I wouldn't call them amenities. No, not exactly.
But what else could they be, sir? We've only just met.
That's true, Miss Templeton, but I am a man of quick judgment and on the serious side, and I put a good deal of store by first impressions. Still, I have not the right to say things like these.
And why not, sir?
Well, let me put it this way. A struggling hay and grain merchant like myself should limit his thoughts to those in keeping with his station. And you, Miss Templeton, are a woman of wealth and position.
But above all, I am a woman. Never forget that, Mr. Farfrae.
Miss Templeton, I cannot help but read a certain significance in what you have just said.
I want you to.
Then I may come another time?
Of course. Come and see Elizabeth Jane as often as you like.
I'm not referring to Elizabeth Jane, Miss Templeton. I'm referring to you.
Mr. Farfrae, I cannot say any more than this. The doors of High Place Hall are open to you whenever you choose to come.
Donald Farfrae chose to come often, and the friendship between Lucetta and himself deepened and grew serious. And Michael Henchard, who saw Donald admitted to high place all again and again, grimly forced the issue.
Look here, Lucetta. You came to Casterbridge to resume our relationship, did you not?
Yes, I did, Michael, I did.
Oh, very well, then. I'm ready as soon as custom will permit to give you my name in return for your devotion. I leave it to you to fix the time and date.
I don't know, Michael. Marriage is such a serious affair. Perhaps you ought to regard me just as an acquaintance for a time, and...
Oh, I see. So that's the way the wind blows, is it?
Michael, what are you trying to say?
I am saying that there is another man, and his name is Donald Farfrae.
Michael, please.
Enough, Lucetta. What manner of fool you take me for? Now then, choose. Who'll it be? Farfrae or myself? Well, never mind. I don't wish to hear the word from your mouth. I can see it in your eyes.
Michael, for the love of heaven.
First the whelp tries to steal my business. Then he tries to steal my woman. Aye, before I'd let him take them from me, I'd crush you both. Do you hear, Lucetta? I'd crush you both like worms under my heavy shoe.
Michael, I've never seen you like this. I didn't think you were capable
of... Oh, you haven't, eh, Lucetta? Well, hearken to me and hearken well. If there's one man I hate in this world, it's Donald Farfrae. Marry him. Only marry him, I say, and you'll find out how Michael Henchard can hate.
The battle hinged on one thing, the weather. Everything in Wessex depended on the weather. A bad harvest would double the price of corn, and good prospects lower it as much. During the early weeks, Michael Henchard forecast the weather with uncanny luck. Later, he became nervous, and to reassure himself, he visited a local forecaster called Wido.
Is it true that you can charm away warts?
Without trouble. Without trouble.
And cure the evil fever?
Aye, if they wear the toad bag by night and by day.
Well, now then, answer me this. Can you forecast the weather?
With labor and time, and, for a consideration.
Then take this. It's a crown. Now then, what is the harvest fortnight to be? Will it be fair or foul?
You asked me, and now I will tell you. By the sun, moon, and stars, by the clouds, the winds, the trees, and the grass, the candle flame and the swallows, the smell of the herbs, likewise by the cat's eyes, the ravens, the leeches, and the spiders, the last fortnight in August will be rain and tempest.
You're sure of this? You're certain?
Aye, as certain as anyone can be in a world where all's unsure.
Look you, Maggie, another hot and fair day.
Aye, husband. And the mare's choked with corn.
And the market going down, and corn cheaper every day.
Why, it is sure to be a good harvest, and poor Mr. Henchard will be having to sell his grain at many shillings a quarter cheaper than he bought it.
Aye, Maggie, the weather is fair, yet played him dirty. He called the turn of the flood and got the turn of the ebb.
Did you hear, Mrs. Cookson? Did you hear?
No, Christopher. What?
It's all over town. Mayor Henchard's losing a fortune day by day.
And young Mr. Farfrae?
Ah, he's the shrewd one. He must have a magic glass to foretell the harvest. He bought little and saved his capital.
The sun mocked Henchard, burned him within. He shook his fist at it, cursed it. For weeks it shone with the hue of tin, and later assumed the color of a topaz. And not a rain cloud appeared in the sky. The forecast had been wrong. Now Michael Henchard decided to unload his grain at a staggering loss. Then One morning in the marketplace...
Oh, Michael! Michael!
What is it, Farfrae?
Well, they tell me the market's put you in a bad corner.
Well, what have you come to do, make a holiday of it?
No, Michael, no. I come to express my sympathy. Believe me, I'm sorry. And I hope that you recoup.
You do?
With all my heart.
Why? Why do you express these sentiments to me?
Because we were friends once instead of rivals. And because I would renew that friendship if I could.
I see. Well, listen to me, Farfrae. What we were never can be again. And don't be too sure of circumstances. It's true I've had a setback, but I've still capital left, and you'll feel the weight of it in time to come.
Then, almost on the eve of harvest, Farfrae suddenly switched into a buying mood, picking up grain at rock-bottom prices. And as if by a signal, the sun was blotted out and the heavens opened in rainy tempest. The price of grain shot up, and Farfrae made a killing. But Michael Henchard stood in the fields and stared up at the wet sky, dazed and heartsick.
Go on, rain! Aye, the forecaster was right. I should have held me grain a little longer. I'd have made the profit, not Farfrae. But now I'm ruined. Even the heavens are laughing at me. My fortune's turned and the Scot did it. He's taken my money and he seeks to take my woman. And he'll try to steal my position. Aye, now he'll try to be Mayor of Casterbridge. But Michael Henchard is not through yet, do you hear? I'll fight him as long as there's any fight in me, to the bitter end.
In this, Michael Henchard had the power of prophecy. The next day, he appeared in High Place Hall.
Why, Mr. Henchard.
Aye, Elizabeth. I should like to speak to Miss Templeton at once.
Oh, she's not in.
Then where can I find her?
Why, she's gone to Port Brady with Mr. Farfrae.
With Farfrae? With him? Why, girl?
Answer
me, Elizabeth Jane. Why? Why did they go to Port Brady together?
To get married, Mr. Henchard.
But the bitter cup was not yet full. The next morning, Michael Henchard, as mayor and town magistrate, sat as a judge in petty sessions. Filthy old woman was up for trial, and just as Henchard was to sentence her, the old hag spoke up.
You cannot sentence me. You up there in the judge's seat? You have no right to sit in judgment upon me.
I have no right, you say? And why not, old woman?
Because you know better than I. And I can be judged only by my betters. You laugh, do you? Well, listen to me, then. 20 years ago, I was a selling of furmity in a tent at Wadham Fair.
We don't care to hear your life's history, old woman.
Wait, clerk. Let her speak. Old woman, you say you sold furmity at Wadham Priors?
Aye, Judge. A man and a woman and child came into my tent. The man, being drunk, sold his wife and child to a sailor for 5 guineas. A scandalous affair 'twas. And the man should be hung for it. Judge?
You know this man, now?
Aye, I know him. It was you, Your Honor. You were the man what done this foul deed. And you have not the right to judge me now.
Amid the roar of the courtroom, Michael Henchard, his face a mask, tore off his judicial robes and walked out. News spread like wildfire through Casterbridge. Idlers in front of the town hall, merchants along High Street, the toilers in the fields, they all buzzed with it. And finally...
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. By popular vote, counted by the commissioners of the town council, it has been ascertained that the new mayor of Casterbridge is Mr. Donald Farfrae.
Michael Hencher. Wait a moment.
Oh, it's you, Farfrae.
Yes, I've heard that you're leaving town.
Aye.
What will you do? Where will you go?
I came to Casterbridge as a hay trusser. I can leave us, Farfrae, and make my humble way. I still have my knife and wimble and basket, and no man can take 'em from me.
Michael, listen. I must ask you a question, man to man. I ask you to forget your pride and what has gone before, and believe me, I do not speak out of pity.
Well, what is it, Farfrae?
Will you stay in Casterbridge and work for me?
Work? For you?
Yes, you'll do much better with me than for strangers, Michael. And whatever happens, you still know grain.
No. No, it's kind of you, but I cannot.
You must, Michael. In a way, you owe it to me.
How?
You remember when I first came here? I wanted to leave, and you persuaded me to stay and work for you.
Aye, I remember.
Well, I stayed against my will and later was happy. You can do the same. Michael, I ask you again, will you stay and work for me?
Very well. Very well, Donald. I'll stay, and thank you for it.
So Michael Henchard stayed and worked as a laborer in the barns and granaries which once he had owned. He felt a momentary gratitude to the Scot, but now the humility of his position preyed upon him, and his old hatred returned.
There he is, Elizabeth Jane. There he is, sitting in my old place, the mayor's chair, and living in my house with the woman I was to marry, and laughing at me working in the hayricks.
Father, you misjudge Mr. Farfrae. I'm sure he isn't laughing at you.
No? Well, then he pities me. And to a man like me, that's worse. Well, it'll only be 12 days more. Only 12 days more, and there'll be an escape.
Father, what do you mean, 12 days more? What escape?
You'll see, Elizabeth Jane. You'll see.
12 days later, the denizens at the Inn of the Three Mariners were startled to see Michael Henchard enter the door and advance to the bar. There was a grim, set look in his face and a wild flame in his eyes as he smashed his heavy fist upon the bar.
Whiskey, keeper! Whiskey, and be quick about it!
Whiskey for you, Mr. Henchard? But you've never taken a drink.
Aye. Michael Henchard is a man of his word. I swore on oath never to take a drink of spirits for 20 years. Now that time is over, and my oath is done. Well, keeper, what are you standing there for? You heard me, did you not? Whiskey!
Yes, Mr. Henchard.
That's it. That's what I needed for 20 years. That's what I need to stand me up when I do him in.
Do who in, Mr. Henchard?
Donald Farfrae. Who else? Well, what are you fools staring at me for? Did you think I'd stand by and see him take everything away from me? Did you? By heaven, no. I'm still a better man than he is. Aye, better than he is. I'll break him like I broke that glass upon the floor. I'll break him, mark you, if it's the last thing Michael Henchard ever does. Whiskey, keeper! More whiskey!
Later that night, Donald Farfrae received a message that someone wanted to see him at the North Granary on a matter of urgent business. Message was unsigned, and as Farfrae entered the semi-gloom of the big barn...
Is anyone here?
Aye. I'm up here in the loft.
Oh, where's you, Michael? What are you doing up there?
Come up the ladder, Farfrae. I want to talk to you.
Very well. Now then, Michael, what are you doing up here? What's wrong? I received a message concerning some business, and
Aye. It's business, all right. You and me are going to square accounts, Farfrae.
What do you mean by that?
Now we stand face to face, man to man. Your money and your fine wife no longer lift you above me, and my poverty does not press me down.
What are you getting at, Michael?
You see this loft, Farfrae? It's 4 square and about the size of a wrestling ring. There's the door, open, and it's 40 feet down to the barn floor.
Michael, do you mean that you...
Aye. One of us is going to throw the other out of that door down to the floor. The master, the better man, stays inside.
You're out of your mind. You're daft.
Aye. Daft to hear your bones crack when I toss you through that door. Put up your hands, Farfrae!
The two men fought silently like animals. They traded blows till the blood ran, rocked and writhed like trees in a gale. First one had the advantage, then the other. Then, finally, Henchard slammed Farfrae to the floor so that his head hung over space through the open door.
Now, Farfrae, I've got you. One little push, and down you go.
Aye. You've the advantage.
This is the end. My revenge. Your life.
Well, then, take it. Take it, Henchard. You wanted it long enough.
Donald, No, it isn't true. Once I loved you as my own son. As no man ever loved another.
Oh, enough of your lying words. Throw me down and have done with it and be cursed to you.
Donald, I cannot. I came here to kill you, and I thought I could, but now I cannot. Here, I release you. Do what you will. Only in this, Donald, be charitable, be kind. Never tell Elizabeth Jane what I've done this night. She would leave me.
Aye, but it doesn't matter whether I tell her or not, Henchard. She'll leave you soon anyway.
What do you mean? What are you talking about, Farfrae? Tell me, man, what is this?
A sailor came to the town hall today, Henchard. He inquired of Elizabeth Jane.
Sailor? A sailor? Was...
Yes. His name was Richard Newson, and they thought him lost at sea, but he wasn't. And now, Henchard, he's come to Casterbridge to claim his daughter.
And so it was that Michael Henchard trudged out of the town of Casterbridge, carrying the tools of an A-trusser, just as he came into it many years ago, down the same dusty road. He walked towards the distant horizon with a slow and dragging steps, and with half-muttered words on his lips.
Here and everywhere, folks are dying before their time, like frosted leaves, though wanted by their loved ones, their families, and their friends. While I, Michael Henchard, who was once Mayor of Casterbridge, I, who am an outcast, wanted by none and despised by all, live on against my will.
They found him later, dead upon the road, and buried him at its side. And inscribed upon the stone was Michael Henchard's own last testament and will, written by him as he was dying. And there, standing on the Wessex earth, which Henchard loved so well, Elizabeth Jane read the inscription.
This be my last testament and will, that none be made to grieve on account of me, that I be not buried in consecrated ground, that no
sexton be asked to toll the bell, that nobody is asked to see my dead body, that no mourners walk behind me at my funeral, that no flowers be planted on my grave, and that no man remembers me. To this I put my name, Michael Henchard.
You have been listening to The Mayor of Casterbridge, an NBC University Theater production of the Thomas Hardy novel, starring Reginald Gardner as Henchard. Next week at this same time, we will bring you another classic of Anglo-American literature, The Red Badge of Courage by Stephen Crane. The present semester of the NBC University Theater is devoted to the classics of Anglo-American literature from the time of Henry Fielding to that of Henry James. If you wish, you may learn more about these authors and their works by enrolling in the college-supervised courses now being offered in connection with the NBC University Theater. The University of Tulsa in Oklahoma, Washington State College, and Kansas State Teachers College have now completed their plans for offering such a course in the coming months, thus joining the University of Louisville, whose established home study plan is already serving listeners in another area of the nation. For information, then, as to how you may enhance your knowledge through these courses, write to NBC University Theater, in care of the University of Louisville, Louisville, Kentucky, Washington State College, Pullman, Washington, the University of Tulsa, Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Kansas State Teachers College, Pittsburgh, Kansas. The Mayor of Casterbridge was adapted for radio by Max Ehrlich. Starred as Michael Henchard, Reginald Gardner, who appears through the courtesy of 20th Century Fox, producers of the Technicolor picture Beautiful Blonde from Bashful Ben, starring Betty Grable. Our cast included Ramsey Hill, narrator, Pat Ahern, George Pembroke, Tudor Owen, Eric Snowden, Ben Wright, Eileen Erskine, Margaret Brewster, Norma Varden, Phyllis Morris, Whitfield Connor, John Ramsey Hill, Donald Morrison, Naomi Stevens. Your announcer, Don Stanley. The original music score was composed and conducted by Dr. Albert Harris. The director of the NBC University Theater is Andrew C. Love. Next week, be with us again for the NBC University Theater dramatization of the Stephen Crane novel, The Red Badge of Courage. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.